pressures, the decisions, the noise. A man screams. A man wants sanity in the confusion. A man wants release from the pressures. No money-back guarantee you will be free of noise, confusion, pain, pressures, decisions. Trust me, man. Trust me.
Welcome to the Garbagerie. Here is now time. Follow the happy feet. Follow the happy feet.
The music group Queen has a message for you. Recently, a teenage girl came to me complaining of her room turning almost eerie and a deathly cold. She's been having other things strange happening to her. I asked her at that time what type of music she was listening to, and she said she was totally obsessed with Kiss. And I said, how obsessed? She said she had 14 albums in her room, a 6-foot poster of the group in her room. She says it's getting to the point where I can't go to sleep without listening to them as I fall asleep. She says I can't even do my homework. I know my parents are worried about me. With that in mind, I want to share with you another tape excerpt, and this was directed to the children. Since then, she's had total freedom. She burned those records, and she hasn't had a problem like that since. Kiss are sometimes known or referred to as sadomasochistic 8 and 9-year-olds. They jump on stage, puking blood, eyeshadow, shampoo, soap, cologne, necklaces, hats, belt buckles, and it's endless. The paraphernalia that are available to kids that they have comic books directed to in which they are referred to as demons from rock and roll hell. At first, parents' reaction will be total revulsion. Then they'll just shake their heads in dismay and go back to watching TV. Kiss had a television special which featured the groups exhibiting psychic phenomena, fire-breathing demons enlarging their boundaries of power to the supernatural. One of the singers of the group, who is known for his extended serpent-like tongue, which incidentally is an ancient pagan symbol for demonic worship, said this. He boldly declared, and I quote, "Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man." Repetitious heavy metal sound, a repetitious hypnotic beat. It's almost like a Hitler rock, because that audience, because of their beat, they're mesmerized by the music. They have that audience hypnotized as they repetitiously repeat, number 9, number 9, number 9. We reversed that number 9 because it seemed that there would be a message there, and there was. Listen to this tape excerpt, as I also note, the second time through, I left the tape on so you could hear through finger control me move the record frontwards and reverse for the message, their hidden message in reverse. Some of us smoke marijuana. You have heard of group after group, and that includes Mick Jagger and Alice Cooper, and all of the rock singers. But they have a choice to make. What about you? What do you choose?
For those of you who might have just joined us,
Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, again, was voted the most popular tune of rock's history. Keep that in mind as I share this taped excerpt with you. In the lyrics of the song, she's buying her stairway to heaven. We know that's not possible. And also they say, words have two meanings. They certainly do have two meanings. This is where the subliminal message comes in that we've been talking about. The subliminal message is a satanic message that was put on their records in reverse. What I mean by in reverse is by taking the record, putting it in a neutral position, and spinning the record backwards. The needle will go in the opposite direction. You say that, I've never heard of anything like that before. Probably not, but many, many people have. And this is where I'm talking about that I believe that we can hear this with our subconscious mind, and you are going to hear it in a few moments. I want to explain to you what their message is. Now, we spun this backwards in a studio, and the tape of what we've got is about to come up. They sing backwards in human voices. Now, mind you, it made sense on both sides. It wasn't a bunch of garble on one side and played it in reverse and it made sense. It made sense on both sides. They sang in human voices in reverse, "There's no escape in it."
I fell.
Further in the tape, I came across another part that made me throw my headphones right off my head. I couldn't believe what I heard.
I tripped.
Then they sing in reverse now, "Listen, we've been there." And that came to my mind when I heard this next sound, and is opposite of the instrumental part. Listen to this as it reminds you of a wailing and a gnashing of teeth. Again, another rock group who is tied definitely in with the occult. They had a definite message to give, who they are serving through their music. The message that they have altogether that they wanted you to hear in a subliminal way on the back or in reverse of Stairway to Heaven was this.
I fell.
I fell.
I tripped.
I tripped.
I need a Band-Aid.
Ow.
I fell.
I fell.
It hurts.
It hurts.
I need a Band-Aid. I fell.
I fell.
It's fixed.
It's fixed.
No blood.
No blood.
Take off the Band-Aid.
Responsibility only to oneself. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of pleasure. The new Declaration of Independence around the world. Then when it starts to fade, the old world returns to what it was. Come over to a similar apartment in the village. Smoke a joint, burn a little grass. Pot party, roach party, mainliner, skin popping, shoot some crystal. The language of the narcotic and marijuana user. The language of a large and ever-increasing number of teenagers. Starting in high school on benzodrine and dexedrine pep pills, it is not long before many soon graduate to marijuana, the teething biscuits to a whole generation of adolescent psyches. And if marijuana is the appetizer, the advent of the space-age technology has provided the main course. Lysergic acid diethylamide, LSD, the crazy acid. To use it is to take a trip in the world of mystique, religion, and self-knowledge. For others, it is a trip to the emergency ward of the nearest psychiatric hospital. For some, it accentuates the beat. But whatever it is, teenagers are going for it. A drug that can be made in the kitchen sink is hard to stop, and may be the forerunner of a new drug society out of some science fiction writer's imagination.
Will drugs pave the road to destruction for the now generation?
I first dropped acid when I was 18. I was over at these people's house one night. This guy I went to school with was over there and asked me if I wanted to try some acid. I had read about it in the newspapers and heard a few friends talk about it, so I was curious. I was pretty jacked up on marijuana, so I decided to try it, and I dropped it. I don't know what I was waiting for, a flash or a rush or whatever, but I kept sitting there waiting, and nothing was happening. So I got up and then went to the dresser and put on a pair of pink capris and a green and brown blouse. I thought the colors were beautiful. So we tripped down to Market Street, and I decided to buy a hot dog. I was very hungry, and I had put mustard and ketchup and relish in the usual, and I put the hot dog up to my mouth, and somebody started screaming. I didn't know what was happening, so I looked up at my friend Terry and said, "Did you hear that? Didn't you hear someone scream?" He said no. I got the hot dog up to my mouth again, and I was ready to bite, and the scream got louder. And it hit me. No, it couldn't be. And I looked down at the hot dog, and there was a face on him. Eyes, nose, a mouth. I had put the ketchup to where it looked like his hair. And he started telling me that I couldn't eat him. That he had a wife and 7 kids at home to support. And I stood there with this hot dog and asked Terry, "Do you know this hot dog is talking to me?" And he says, "Nah, let's get out of here." And I told him, "Look at the thing, he's got a face, and he's screaming." And the guy finally looked over, and we sat there carrying on a conversation with that hot dog. Finally, I decided I was just hallucinating, so I put it in my mouth and bit down. It screamed so loud that you could hear it all over town, so I had to throw it on the ground and step on it. And I was jumping on this hot dog in the middle of Market Street. I realized that I had murdered it. And I took off screaming down the street, scared.
Will drugs pave the road to destruction for the now generation?
Help Bob, fight the fight for what's right.
I'm fed up, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Hey, I'm really into black metal, like Slayer, King Diamond, Exodus, everybody. Well, I don't know, I guess it's the same thing that people like to go see horror movies. I just like to listen to this music. I just think it's entertaining. I like it.
Satanism, sex, and swearing, the favorite topics of heavy metal musicians. While they sing their way to fame and fortune, their message turns teens into rebellious radicals. Bob Bobson fights the ravages of rock and roll. Your gift of $500 to $1,000 makes you a champion of Bob's fight for what's right.
Help me fight for what's right.
Call 1-800-223-36A. Denver, Colorado, 802-2236. Back Bob's fight.
Gabriel and Grand Prairie, thanks for sharing 11156, and Bob and Doris and Carrollton. Hey, those Texas folks coming through. And Sharon gets the 22312 so they can get that video. It's Jerry in Midland and Ernest in Burleson. These Texas folks. I thought you couldn't speak English. Kathy in Albuquerque, you're going to love that video, plus my book and all those other materials that we're going to send you. Now, you just relax for a minute, okay? 1-800-800-8-TALK is the on-the-air number, and I tell you, we've got some very tense situations here right now. Now, Rebecca, I want you to just listen to me for a minute, okay?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, we want to help you, and the people who gave you this number knew that we would be able to help you. Now, we can help you in a number of ways.
You can help me.
Okay?
Does it hurt?
Pardon?
Does it hurt?
It doesn't hurt. You do not have to cut yourself.
Hey.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
The powers of darkness and all the work of the Satanists in her life, we command that it come to an end. On right now. You are bound. You are bound. You are bound. You are bound. And Rebecca is being loosed. Rebecca is being loosed.
What's happening?
Don't worry, Rebecca. Don't you worry. Who are you? Who are you?
Who am I?
Christ. You cannot have this girl. You hear me? You cannot have her. She is not yours. To whom does she belong?
Right now, she belongs to my master.
She will not continue to belong to him.
We'll do everything we can to terminate her.
You can't. You can't terminate her.
I'm so confused.
Rebecca?
What?
Now you just relax for a minute, okay? A couple of commercial breaks, and I'm going to stay right with her. Now, Rebecca?
Yes?
You just relax for a minute.
Yes?
Now you...
Society can no longer ignore Satanism. Whether you choose to believe the devil is real isn't the issue. Thousands have sworn allegiance to the devil and do his bidding. They are mentally, physically, and sexually victimized.
I was thinking about going Satan's way to get out of my problems, man.
I am a Satanist. It believes in self-indulgence.
I'm a drug user and I'm a Satanist. One night I was on an acid trip and I had a vision of Satan. And I got the whole 9 yards of what's going down.
I believe that Satan is my God. Drugs, anything I need, I get.
Call 1-800-222-23-CLUB and help me.
1-800-800-8-TALK is the on-the-air number, and I tell you, we've got on Sally right now. On Rebecca. Is being loosed. Rebecca is being loosed.
What's happening?
Don't you worry. You speak to me.
What?
You let her go. You let her go.
Why should I let her go? She belongs to me.
Not forever.
I was sent here to protect her, to guide her, and to lead her. She has not yet made that choice.
She will make that choice, and you know very well it's called. It's a miracle she called today, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it?
Someone out there was praying for her.
Well, that's your problem. Now you listen to me. Jesus Christ, how many more of there are you? How many more of you are there? How many more of your kind?
There are many.
How many? How many?
Been here for generations. There are hundreds.
Well, the hold is being broken.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, and you know very well it is being broken.
We will have her on our Hallows Eve.
No, you will not have her on your Hallows Eve. You will not have
ours.
No,
forever.
she will not be yours forever.
He's deceived.
Who's David? The David we were talking to a moment ago?
He's deceived. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And your hour has come to an end.
I have a right to be here.
What is the right?
She has not accepted.
I bind you to hold your tongue silent right now.
Yes.
I bind you to submerge and hold your tongue silent. Rebecca? Rebecca?
What?
I want you to... Do you want love in your life?
I'm scared of it.
Do you want it?
Yes.
Do you want him? Do you want him if he is love?
I don't know who he is. If it's true.
Then say, I, Rebecca. Rebecca? Rebecca, I command you to stay out of the way. Rebecca?
Yes.
Say, I, Rebecca.
I, Rebecca.
Want love.
Want love.
Stay out of the way.
Want love.
I want out.
I want out.
Say, I put my trust.
I put my trust.
In God.
In God.
Stay out of the way. Stay out of the way. You stay right there, and I'm going to come back to you in a minute. I have to go away. I just ask all of you to support this ministry, stand by us, and support us now.
Realize you're going down that road, and you're leading the rest of America. They'd like to go down that road.
Bob Bobson knows crude collars are a sign he's doing something right. You may be fed up with being fed up, but that won't change.
Helping the hurting is what Talk Back with Bob Bobson is all about. Thank you.
Now, let me tell you what's going on right now. At this moment, Rebecca's mother is sitting in the car in a trance. Now, it just may be that I don't know what's going on. I'm speculating. Rebecca is not at the phone right now. Rebecca is going to come back to the phone at any minute. In the meantime, 1-800-800-8-TALK is the on-the-air number, and I tell you
Please leave us alone.
No, I will not leave you alone, Catherine. Under no circumstances will I leave you alone, because I want you to have love in your life. I want you...
You listen to me. It's too late for me.
It is not too late.
It is too late.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. If it's too late, why am I talking to you now?
I have no idea.
If it's
I can't get rid of you.
You can't get rid of me. You aren't going to get rid of me, because I won't let you go. How would I know about Roanoke?
Listen.
And Floretta?
No, right.
How would I know?
Speak.
Listen, who's living in the fairy tale? You've got a black book with names of relatives that have passed a curse down
That's reality.
It's not. Is October 31st a reality?
It is reality. We must get rid of this evil.
What evil?
You are evil. I will join her.
I want every demon in hell to listen.
I don't want to hear any more that you have to say. Do you hear me?
Who's interfering? Who is it? Who is it? Come to attention. Who are you?
Ravinsky.
Well, Ravinsky, I thought you couldn't speak English. I thought you couldn't speak English.
Ravinsky.
Are you Ravinsky?
God.
Can you speak English?
Listen, I don't want any part of this.
Catherine,
you
listen to me.
Are
Catherine,
nothing.
Catherine, who's going to
Leave
kill?
us alone.
Catherine, who's going to kill you at Halloween?
That's none of your business.
Are you?
This is none of your business.
Why would I be talking to you? This is a miracle, Catherine.
You are a fool.
How would I know all of this? Why would I be talking to you if I were a fool? If I were a fool, how would I know all of this?
I have no idea, but you leave us alone.
I know about Ravinsky. You know
Leave us alone. I'm begging this while you can.
And break the curse of Ravinsky. What? Ravinsky? Can you speak English? Are you there, Ravinsky? Ravinsky? You cannot have Catherine's on Halloween. You cannot have it. You cannot have it. And you cannot have the life of Rebecca. Rebecca? Yeah, you heard her. Did you not? Confess it. Did you hear her? Answer me, Ravinsky. Answer me, Catherine. Catherine.
Leave us alone.
Catherine.
Please.
Catherine.
To hear what you have to
You
say.
need to hear. If it were,
leave my
if it
daughter
were, I will not leave your daughter alone. I know how many spirits Rebecca has.
Listen.
She has 342
we
of
have a long
them.
trip ahead of us, and I don't intend to spend it on this telephone.
No, you cannot go anywhere. You cannot go anywhere. We command you be restrained. Now, is it a hoax? Well, it's not from this end, even though that's what the police, the official position that they're taking, and believe me, that's very heartbreaking because a life is on the line here. I'm in a difficult situation I've never been in before in my life. I got my laundry hung out to dry in front of the whole country, so to speak, here. It's no hoax, friend. Not from this end. I have people of integrity working with me here. responsible people, any official of the police department who wants to walk in here and question any one of us may feel absolutely free to do so. Put us on a lie detector text. Go ahead, if you want the truth. Folks, I don't have all the answers. I have some. We'll do the best we can with this situation. I thank those of you. I want to ask you to dial 1-800-222-23-CLUB, but I want to ask you to do something special. I haven't said much about it for me personally in this ordeal. Would you do that just for me?
Some people say Satan isn't involved with today's rock music. I want you to look at one of these slides of a group called Meatloaf. This is from the album Bat Out of Hell. And as I look at some of the album covers, I cannot deny that there's a satanic influence in the album covers. If my mother came to me and said, Gary, I want you to eat Brussels sprouts, and I said, Mother, I don't like Brussels sprouts. I hate Brussels sprouts. And I fought my mother on eating Brussels sprouts. My mother, if she was very clever and maybe even a little satanic, could begin to program my mind with music that had backward messages in it that said, Gary, you love Brussels sprouts. They taste good, Gary. You get healthy when you eat Brussels sprouts. And with that type of programming, I might actually begin to believe that Brussels sprouts was good for me. Neurological studies everywhere have proven that your tastes can be actually changed through programming. Years ago, they had the system of showing popcorn or Coke in a blip of a movie, especially at the drive-ins. They would put the movie in with the popcorn or Coke, and they said that that was so effective that when they had the break time, everybody, thousands of kids, converged on the snack bar because they had been programmed. For instance, Brian has a book out called Subliminal Seduction, where he says that most subliminal programming technicians that put subliminal things into ads and TV advertisements and things that we're seeing on billboards, and so we are constantly being barraged and seduced by the demon powers and the rock system. If you're into rock and roll today, let me warn you that you may have already been conditioned to become part of the system. It means you're inferior, you're abominable, you're inhuman. You're going to follow this system. You're going to follow the devil. I don't think a lot of young people know they are the devil. They are using the rock groups as patsies to anti-evangelize the youth of the world. Let's see if we have that queued up on tape and we can play it for you. Let's hear it right now if we have it.
That's tough.
Now listen closely because it will continue. Oh, it is said, we're dead men. Then the last part is very garbled, and I don't even want to purport what it might say. But you listen and see if you hear, here it is. I don't know if I have that on another cut. If they'd like to keep that playing, we'll find out if there's a slower cut. But I did want you to hear that, and I sort of talked over it. But if you had listened carefully, it would have said, Satan, Satan, Satan. If we don't have another cut on there, maybe they could go back and we could play that again, because I want you to hear the nasty one. And as we're waiting for that, I want you to look very closely at the album cover, and you'll get the idea that Satan may be after the children. Now look here, and you'll see that there's two hands, green-type witch-like hands, and I believe this might be the Wicked Witch of the East. And this really purports the fact that Satan is trying to get the kids. Now, that's my interpretation, but I don't want to say that that is for sure. Again, I'd like to try to play the nasty one. Now, some say this is garbled and you can't really hear it. I want you to make the decision. I don't want to say it's there. I want you to listen to it. What you've just heard forward, where he said, we'll see to be, when we play that backwards, you listen and tell me if there is a secret message that's masked into there. I'll play it forward right now. Now this was played forwards, believe it or not. Now I'm going to take exactly what you just heard, and I want you to hear what it sounds like when we play it backwards. And I want you to listen for Satan. He is God, he is God, he is God. You listen and tell me if it's there or not. Let's listen to that now. Now this is just one example of masking. I'd like to get into a couple more today. And there's a cut I'm going to play from Arkansas. That's the name of the album, or the name of the song. And I want you to listen for exactly what I said before. You have to listen closely, but you're going to hear the lead singer yell out, "You're infernal." I'll play it forward right now. Now, if you'll listen carefully, I'm going to play that exact segment backwards, and I want you to hear Satan in our voices. I'm going to play two cuts. One is going to say it at regular speed backwards, and the next will be, I'll slow it down so you can hear it a little better. Let's hear that backwards now. Now, there's an album that's out, and if you don't believe blasphemy is in these albums, let me show you the album cover where it shows a demon. Here you see it, a demon. One source told me that we're dead men. That's what some people say it says, which is the word, the book where it says, he's the nasty one. Oh, Satan in our voices. I want to play that a little slower, and I'm not saying that they put it there. I'm saying that it just sounds to me like it might be saying that. Now you listen yourself. Let's hear it again. This is the backward masking, and it says you're inferior, you're abominable, you're infernal. Now, when we play that same song backwards, I want you to listen for it saying, Satan, he is God, Satan, he is God. Well, maybe they could go back and we could play that again. Let me show you the album cover. There's a group called Styx, S-T-Y-X. I want to show you a slide of them. And if you look at their album cover here, you're going to see the album cover. You have to look very closely under the word Styx. But that's exactly what Styx is pulling off, is a grand illusion upon the teenagers. Webster's dictionary literally means the hateful, encircling Hades, or hell, over which the legendary river has the grand illusion. Now, I wonder if the group Styx ferried the souls of the dead. In the song, if you listen to it backwards, you'll find out that there is masking in it. Now, I'm not saying that Styx put it there. I'm saying that if you play it backwards, you hear something different than what you play it forwards. I'm going to play it forwards for you, and I'm going to play a song. If you listen very closely, you'll hear the songs, and this is from the Forward album. Now listen to forward. This is forward. Styx, Styx, Styx. Well, as I listen to it, I hear something. I believe if you listen closely, you may hear something too.